80s icon, Carrie Elwes. An icon to this day. What brought you to the show? How did they approach you, and what was the pitch to you to come and play?
Well, it was... Get it the right side up first. It was thanks to Carmen here. Carmen and the Duffers. I think you suggested me, right? Yes, thank you, Carmen. Yes, so I have heard of what's the and so yeah, I got a call, and I'd binge watched this. In fact, it was the first time I ever binge watched a show, and I sat down with my wife, and we had plans for things we were supposed to do, and we canceled them all. And it's impossible to start this show and not watch it all the way through if you've never seen it before. It's just, or even if you have, it's just incredible. So getting the call was very strange. I mean, very strange. And
some would say stranger.
Stranger.
Nice.
And then and so very exciting, obviously, and you know.
And for the rest of you, I mean, how many of you had seen Carrie and of course Princess Bride and all the other things he's done over the years? And what was it like to sort of see him now playing this character in an 80s set show and having some fun with it?
Dude, I don't know. I was so... When I saw you for the first time at the table read, I don't think I knew that you were being cast.
You just thought he was like a narrator?
Yeah.
This guy.
So you're reading scene direction? Or... No, I mean, I freaked out. Men in Tights was one of my favorites growing up. No, genuinely. And, genuinely, it's an honor to have you. And everyone enjoys the cast. It's always the same thing. I always get, whenever new characters get added, I get so happy for them, because it's like it's honestly so weird and rare that you get a chance to be on something like this, but when someone else gets added, it feels like you're recruiting someone else on this really weird, you feel like a special mission team or something like that for just insane actors. I'm always so happy for the people that come on.
I think because when somebody else gets added, it's like you're kind of reliving you getting the part again. It's like that excitement is kind of like, oh my goodness, I know how you feel. And it's really cool. Like, even when Sadie was added to the group, we were all like, oh my goodness, she was so excited and also very nervous, kind of like what Maya said, just going into school again, which was quite literally her. She was walking into our school trailer like, hi everyone, I'm a new student. And we were like, hi. But it was she was so excited, and I think we were so excited for her. I think that's what's so cool, is that we all share our passion and excitement together, and then that's what creates a very fun and crazy set.
And Carrie, the other thing about the mayor is that he gets roughed up quite a bit. You are at the receiving end of some harm, including from this guy over here.
And Winona Ryder punches you in the face.
Yes.
Oh man, that's so cool.
That's an ultimate moment.
It's great. She wanted to do more than one take. I said, wait, I think I can do that better.
What did you do to her?
No, I know I get roughed up quite a bit, and look, he's a character who clearly has very few scruples, and in this show, a character like that has to pay the price, and so I got roughed up by Andre, and by David, and by Winona, so I felt like it was a badge of honor, really.
Speaking of characters that have to pay the price, Jake, your character, of course, this is a pre-Me Too sort of real jerk, which is to put it mildly. He gets his comeuppance, but talk about also joining the show and how you came on board.
Well, I came on board the conventional manner. It was pilot season, and you know how that is. You can't, you don't know what you're reading. There's so many things. You're just like, I got one Tuesday. It's at 4:00. It's on Beverly, and so you have that going on, and so, excuse me. So I had one of those weeks that there was at least 5 that week, and then the manager that I had at the time, one day he I don't know, he called me and he says he said they want you to come back and read on Stranger Things again, and I was like, well, I read for Stranger Things. when was that? So you stupid idiot. It was Tuesday last week, and so I was like, oh my God, but the thing is, like, for me, I don't know, you guys, if you feel this way, or any of you, no, you guys certainly don't, but if you feel that nervousness, I've never lost it. I go into these casting rooms and I'm a wreck. And I get so nervous. I mean, you want, why isn't Jake Busey making like $5 million a movie? I know that guy for 30 years now. It's because I am so nervous in auditions. I suck. But with this one, so my method is to not know what I'm reading. It's pilot season. I got to be there at 3:00. This is the material. I'm doing it. I'm there. So I go back and I meet for the second time.
This is the worst acting class I've ever taken.
This is how you do it. This is how you do it.
Here's my method, kids.
Yeah. Don't know
Pick it up, walk into the room, hope to get all the words in the right order, and then book the show.
Weirdly, you thought this was an NCIS.
No mystery there. No mystery. So anyway, thankfully, Carmen brought me back in and was like, oh, you, sit down. We're going to talk for a little bit. Just come down off the wire. And I was able to relax, and we talked for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, and I finally was okay. And then we did the scene, and she's like, great, excellent work, and she was so gracious and so kind, and really got me to a place where I guess I could impress the Duffer Brothers, and I guess that's that happened. I'm here, and the best thing about it was these guys had laid the tracks for this train going 100 miles an hour. And after so many years of doing movies where everyone's like, oh man, this is going to be the next big thing, man, this is going to be a hit. And then nobody goes to see it. So this one was like season 3. Okay, like these guys are ass kickers, and I'm going to get to go and play with them. So it was really a dream. And now with this social media thing, I'm on the plane with this guy, and he's like, Jake, look, we're trending in the UK. And I'm like, what does that even mean? And like, we're on the way to the table read. And so it was like, okay, here we are. We're experiencing that we just got hired, and so's the world. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So thank you for having me.
I think I speak for everyone. Duffers, a prequel about a Hawkins small-town newspaper starring Jake Busey, a Lou Grant-style show set in 1982.
But it's done live, and they get the scripts 5 minutes before they film it.
Right. Perfect.
It's a multi-cam.
You gotta love this stuff, right? That's why we do it, right?
Andre, let me jump to you now, because you had a fun role this season. You're sort of filling that 80s Dolph Lundgren, Schwarzenegger style role. Yeah. So you had some fun with that. Talk about that. That it's sort of like who really inspired your character as sort of the classic 80s baddie Russian guy.
Yeah. Well, when I was auditioning, I didn't even know what I'm auditioning. I just got, it was a very broad, like, you know, like a little print that they have on. No, not the Jake Busey stuff. Yeah, they wouldn't tell him. They told Jake. Yeah, and so it was just a broad message, and my manager. Hello. Yeah. It's a very. It's like this.
We were trying. We had to keep the Russian storyline a secret.
Right.
So it was. We didn't release it in any way that anyone would know that it was connected to the show. It was just random Russian roles. And because I work on
For a random show, right? It didn't say.
well, because I work on multiple shows, no one ever questions what I'm doing, and I'm always hiding parts in different things. That's why
You said it was
This
for
is-
Russian.
so come in for everything from my office, or else you're gonna miss out.
But it wasn't even specified. It's for show or for the movie. It was just said it's for different project for 2019. Russian roles. That's what it says. So I just went, and they Carmen sent me two roles. One is interrogator, and another one is like a lab assistant kind of, like professor.
Yeah,
I knew you were gonna work with me because I did one before. I did one audition like this before. It didn't work well. So I didn't even know like which pace to choose, like for the movies or for the TV shows. But I thought like I will go for the movie. So I did those 2 scenes, and then.
Are they different?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One actually, it's funny. Recently, I was watching James Bond, Casino Royale, and I see Mikkelsen because like I didn't know, like I didn't pay really attention where this scene with interrogator came from. And I was watching, and I see Mikkelsen interrogating James Bond, and I'm like, I've heard those lines somewhere before. and it took me like, maybe like a minute. I was sitting and I was like focusing, and I'm like, I have to know where I've heard those lines. And then I'm like, oh damn, that's my audition I did. But it was a long process. I'm not gonna go into it, but after I got cast and I met Duffers, that's what they told me, that they go in with 80s movies, Die Hard and Terminator, and they want a kind of like Schwarzenegger-ish guy to be in that. So that was my guideline.
There was, I'll give you a little funny thing. It was like we have this fight in the basement where we grab Alexei for the first time, and he's got a machine gun, and some of the shots are direct from Die Hard, the first one, where the guy's the machine gun. At one point, Bruce Willis jumps on his back, and they spin around a little bit.
You are policemen. Policemen have rules.
Policemen have rules. That whole thing. But we shot that, and at one point, the director Uta was like, "Yeah, let's do some more of that spinning around thing," and I jump on his back, and he spun me around, like, must have been like 8 times.
Because at the beginning, do you remember they wanted me just to grab your gun, and you were just beside me, and we like spinning that way, but it was so uncomfortable.
Right.
Because we hit each other feet, and
Right.
I'm like,
I just wanted to pin you
it's
back.
not gonna work. I'm gonna feel like
I just wanted to get on your back.
David was tired.
Listen, man, I just wanted to get on your back.
But I appreciate the
And
compliment.
I went like 8 times around, and I heard in the initial edit that they kept the whole thing. And it was completely ridiculous.
Like 40
but
seconds
it's
long.
our editor's favorite shot, which you'll never see. You see like 2 seconds of it, but it went on for 25 minutes.
Oh, we finally got the bloopers out of all this time.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised they didn't use that one. It was just,
Well, it is like a 40-second uncut clip with no laughter and just awkward spinning around. I don't know if anyone would get a kick
Sounds like
out
a
of
blooper
that.
to me.
I like it.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. Well, Carmen, I want to get to you now to talk a little bit more about casting the show, especially an established hit like Stranger Things, and sort of bringing on people who now need to have chemistry with the established people to be additive. What is sort of the process now in bringing on and expanding out this amazing cast?
The process changes every season because obviously the storylines change. We're trying to hide things. We're sometimes using fake scenes, fake project names, and all of that. So that certainly has been a thing. But I think in general with the characters, we're really just looking, how Brett explained his character, we're just really looking to amplify the way that the characters are different from each other. And obviously it happens in the writing, that starts with the writing, but energetically I really, and it's hard, it gets harder as it expands, but you really just no two people here have the same energy, or even the same, a lot of them have very different approaches to how they work. You know, Jake and Carrie, two very different individuals in the room. And I did want to say for you guys, since you're actors and you're working actors, everyone on this stage auditioned for their part. And so, you know, this is a show that really loves actors, but also really sort of requires material that the Duffers that the Duffers wrote or picked to be done by the actor that they're considering. They love to see it in action. So even though these guys are iconic and we know them from other stuff, they were also very open to coming in and working with me. And obviously these guys all auditioned, even David.
Hell yeah, audition.
David and I were in a tiny room together in New York City.
Yeah.
How many times did you audition?
I went in once.
Okay.
Yeah. I shred a couple scenes, and I did it like you know, Jake. I was like convinced that this was nonsense and that like I'd never get it. And this was a courtesy thing while they waited for Ewan McGregor to accept the role.
Yeah.
And then like a week later I got it. It was crazy.
It was also different for the kids too, because I remember ours was I think it was the longest process.
Like 2 months.
I think I didn't find out. I think I started auditioning. I did my self-tape in June, and I didn't find out until I was shooting till August.
And you guys were reading Stand By Me scene,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We were doing that, and also the first D&D scene, like the very first scene that starts with it, and
And also, like, Noah read a fictitious scene, I think, between you and him or something that they had written on the spot.
Because
Winona
we
and I were
needed to know
cast
that
first.
he could pull off being the lead of the second season,
Right.
or having that big storyline.
Winona and I were cast first, and the Duffers actually sent when they found the four of you, or the four of you. I keep forgetting, and they keep growing each season. But the four of you, they sent us. They were so excited that they sent me your tapes online or whatever, and I was like, "Holy shit! These are like the best kid actors I've ever seen."
Well, also, and this is also another thing. Like, this was a fluke. I feel like for me, like, and for I think a lot of us, because I self-taped from my bed when I was sick. So like,
I thought you said when you were 6.
No, not no. It was a while ago. Yeah,
This was a while.
They were like, this guy's pretty cool.
For 5 years.
Let's wait 5 more years, and then he'll kind of. I mean, yeah, we'll see. But no, yeah, I mean, I'm sick, I don't want to do it. And he was like, you got to do it. So I did it from bed, and my dad's finger was in the frame half the time. And it was out of focus, and then they were like, the Duffers would really like to Skype with you. And I'm like, what? Really?
Also,
why?
The Duffers were just two kids at that point,
and that's
you've
also
never heard of.
Right, and then I Skyped with them, and then they talked to me about Evil Dead for 40 minutes at the end. They were like, so we want to fly you out to LA. And I was like, what insane thing are you running here where you cast a kid sick in bed and then fly him on a plane to Los Angeles to
Your
get
intro
drunk?
was like, hi, I'm Finn, I'm sick.
Yeah, that's what you said.
And he was in
You
bed
said, hi,
with
I'm
his...
Finn Wolfhard, I'm sick. And we were like,
That was my intro.
Yeah, but it was the
Out
best
of the music-
intro.
And
Well,
then
you might as
many-
well have said, hi, I'm Finn Wolfhard, I'm magic.
I'm a magic boy.
Yeah, and then we all flew to LA together. I remember Finn and I and this other person, I actually don't remember, we all sat on a sofa with Carmen, and Carmen was like, there's nothing to worry about, just read your lines, have fun with it, and we were like, okay.
Yeah, I was
the next
really
day,
I was
walked
so
in,
terrified.
and I read with another boy, and Finn read with another girl, and then we read together, and it was like,
Yeah.
we just knew.
Yeah.
I looked at Finn, and Finn was like, are throw up, and I was like, yes, me too. God, somebody feels the same way.
And then I met you.
We met each other.
And you came in the room just like so. I was like, this guy.
I know. I kept asking you to go to the pool with me, and you were like, yeah, for sure. And then you just didn't. It's like, oh, man.
We eventually, we had breakfast.
Yeah, we did. We had breakfast.
We did have breakfast. And then Gaten comes in, and the first thing he's like, yeah, I just got back from, he's like, yeah, I was in New Jersey. And we're like, oh, cool, you live there? He's like, yeah. And we were like, cool, how do you like it? And he was like, oh, New Jersey's the greatest, best, you know. A lot of heroin, but I really, you know, it's home. And I was like, yeah, sure, all right. And he was like, you know, I got no collarbone. I'm like, Jesus, you're full of facts. You want to see what I can do? Yeah, does the thing in the audition room, and the Duffers are like, holy shit, and they saw it, and they immediately wrote it in the show. Like, the first thing, they went home and they wrote it into the show. He said, I have this thing called cladocranial dysplasia, and he did the thing that is in the show.
Maybe we should just call it, like, the shoulder touch.
The show, something like that, and he did it in the first 30 seconds he was in the audition room.
Actually, that's the thing I should talk about with the Duffers that they really enjoy, and part of why they like to see people doing their material is that they fall in love with the actor that they cast, and then they immediately start writing specific to that actor. Like, we're casting what season are we in? 4. We're casting 4 right now. And they want me, they're always chomping at the bit for parts that aren't even working till May, because they're like, we're writing. We want to find the actor so we can write to him. And that's an important thing to consider also when you're sort of auditioning for us.
So Carmen, talk about real quick, watching them grow up on this show and sort of perfect their craft, and how have you sort of watched them evolve as actors, and what's sort of your take on how they've grown into these roles over the past 3 seasons?
Well, this show, these characters, was the first time I was casting kids that were the same age as my kids at the time. So I've sort of watched that. They're all a little bit older, like 6 months older. So in looking for them, I was looking for kids that reminded me of my kids and their friends in the way that they're so vibrant and intelligent and complicated and weird and all of those things. And so when I found them, it was really the authenticity of who they are as individuals really was important. And so now watching them grow, I feel similar to watching my own children grow, because it's happening. It's all happening. The teenage stuff, the magic of professional and personal stuff, but also as actors, they're just amazing. They're brilliant, but they were brilliant when we cast them, and they just keep working so hard at their craft and expanding beyond just their on-screen stuff as well. So I'm super proud, even though I'm not their parent.
And then look at David Harbour turning into superhero. This has been quite a journey the past couple of years for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been amazing. I mean, it's a dream come true. It really is. I wish I could say something eloquent about it, but it just is. This show has changed my life, not only professionally, personally, but artistically, and sort of afforded me these incredible opportunities. And I am very excited about this Black Widow movie that's coming out in May. I think it's going to be a pretty super fun movie. So, yeah, pretty excited.
Excellent. Well, and then, of course, we're looking forward to eventually season 4 of Stranger Things. No spoilers. We literally know nothing right now, so can't wait for that. But good luck and congratulations again on the nominations. Stranger Things season 3. Go back and watch it again. Thank you so much to this great cast.
Thank you, guys.
Woo!